many flies. Hey, beautiful souls. I hope the world is treating you well. At the moment, I'm going through a really dark time, a super tower moment, something that I never expected to happen. And I'm just, the sadness that is inside of me at the moment weighs more than gravity, and it just keeps pulling me down, down, down. Every day I've cried. Every day I've tried to search for the light, for the positivity, and I just can't seem to. I can find it, but I can't grasp it every day. If you've ever felt so sad in your life, you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. It's sort of like it takes a hold and it grips you.
Snowy by Caspian on the leg and now he's crying.
Well, stop trying to enrage him.
No, we're not. Caspian, we were just
Savvy, then put him on the cord. Put him on the lead, okay? Shut the door, please. Shut the door, please.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I apologize. My 3 little ones are here at the moment, and it's so hard. And I'm trying to be really strong, but I can't. I just can't hold it back. I can't conceal it like I feel like I should be. And so I know a lot of people depend on me for things these days. I have a lot of readings to deliver. And I have bone stone stuff that I'm still working on, and I've got Patreon stuff to do. And basically what has happened is my husband has left me. He decided that he no longer wanted to be in a relationship, and so he walked away. And this was after I invested quite a bit of money in the renovation of our home, which we were meant to be moving into together. And he's now living in that place on his own. And we are working through the process right now. This is very fresh. It's very raw for me. And it's just a very massive kind of discombobulating thing to deal with. And because I have no experience here, not in this way, this is my second marriage, and my first marriage, it happened really young, and it happened before we had children, before we had assets and everything. So essentially, it was a matter of just like breaking up as though you would like a boyfriend and a girlfriend would, and change of a name here and separation of bank accounts there, and boom, it was done. There was just no crossover. But we have assets, we have 3 children, we have so much intertwined. So much of our lives are effectively intertwined. And yeah, it's just really challenging. I have to keep doing these things that I'm just not ready to do. Like today, this only happened on Thursday, to give you some context. It's Monday here. This happened on Thursday. I was sitting down and I was doing address confirmations for the bone stone. And he sort of sat down and he spoke to me, and I agreed. I wanted to just make one thing clear. I'm not heartbroken because my husband left me. I'm heartbroken because it has broken my family. Because the children don't understand. Because now I don't get to see them every day. I was saying to my best friend the other day, that I didn't have children to not see them. I didn't have children to be separated from them. That's not why people have children. It happens that way, and I understand, but that's not why I had children. And so I'm very sad. I can honestly say that in the end, I wasn't in love with my husband. I respected him, and I potentially just thought he was a companion and a friend. There just hasn't been any love between us for a long time, but we were making it. I thought that that was the best way to go about it because it meant that our children got to see, a whole entire family unit rather than be like, separate mum and dad. I know it's very common these days, but I just did not think that I was going to be there, which is naive. I mean, it's naive, but at the end of the day, I thought that I was secure, put it that way, and this has rocked that foundation for me, which is why I'm calling it a tower moment, because it is a cataclysmic destabilization of my world as it is. There's a lot yet to be decided, and I won't be getting too in depth on that, but I'm in a position now where I have to completely support myself and my children for a period of time. And it's a terrifying position to be in. It's an absolutely terrifying position to be in. But I want to say this. I want to say this for any woman that is just out there at the moment and who doesn't know if this is part of their future or not.
Mommy,
Yes, my love.
I need to go to
You don't want to go to the outside one?
No, Daddy's in there.
Okay. I want to say that when I first started up on YouTube, that it was for me. I did it for me, and it was something that I was just inspired to do in the moment. I was heavily pregnant with my son, and I just moved to a completely new town. I didn't know anybody, and I just wanted some connection. And I knew that while I was so heavily pregnant and so close to having a baby, I was not going to get the opportunity to meet a lot of people in that time. So I decided that I would jump on YouTube. And when I did, I loved it. It took me a little while to get the gist of everything, but I really loved it, and I felt so welcomed. And just as I was finding sort of my rhythm, and this is very, very early in my channel, I was still living in Cairns. I was still living in our first home in Cairns. My husband said to me, "You're spending too much time on the internet. You're fixated on the internet, and you've always got your head on a computer or on a phone or something like that." And I took his words on board as honest kind of words, and I looked at my technological behavior, if you will, and I thought, oh, maybe I am spending a little bit too much time. I don't know. So I did a 3-month social media kind of cleanse, and during that time, I don't even think I made it to 3 months, because during that time, I realized something, and I realized that there was something out there for me, opportunities that were presented to me in that moment. There was something more out there, and I really felt like YouTube, that avenue. It's a little bit sorry. As I was saying, I really felt like there was something more out there for me, and I realized that I had to push for it. I had to fight for that. I had to fight for a right to be able to do something that I wanted to do, to sort of follow a calling that I was feeling. Well, it seems like that's a long time ago, and I wouldn't even have thought about it, but it came up in a conversation with my girlfriend and my bestie, I mean, and she said, if you hadn't pushed all those years ago, if you didn't consistently just push through that kind of, judgment, that kind of restrictive thing at that time, that would have, I would be in a very different place right now. I wouldn't be in a position where I could even remotely afford to look after myself or remotely afford to look after my children. And so when I look back on the decisions that I'd made very early on, I realized that even back then, I was really looking after myself. And I just want this to be something that is known, that unfortunately, we need to be able to look after ourselves. Whether we're in secure relationships or not, we need to be able to look after ourselves as best we can, and making decisions that place us in situations that enable us to look after ourselves or at least begin striving towards looking after ourselves, is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so if you feel that calling to do something and you want to chase it down, do it, because you just don't know where that will lead you. You don't know where those opportunities will take you. I had a really serendipitous moment yesterday when I was at the front of our local supermarket. And I have been so tender. That I haven't spoken to many people. This is the type of news that I'm keeping very close to myself, or I was keeping very close to myself. And yesterday I bumped into a friend of mine who lives here in Geeston, and she just strolled past me, and I yelled out to her, and we started talking, and then I kind of told her what was happening, and she's just like, she was beside herself, and she's like, I'm heading home now. I want you to come over and have a cup of tea with me and just let the kids play. And we sat there for ages, and we talked, and we really talked about the necessity for human beings to follow something like a calling. It sounds a little bit cliche, but believe it or not, when you follow that bliss, when you do follow your bliss, it can place you in very secure places. Oftentimes it's the contrary that's spoken of. You follow your bliss and it can take you off the edge of the cliff, the proverbial fool taking a step off the edge of the cliff. It certainly feels like that in the beginning, but so much good, so much opportunity comes that way. But I'm very sad right now. It's just, I get sadder and sadder when I think about things like, who will the kids spend Christmas with? Or the holidays, for those who are non-religious and don't do Christmas. Like, where will they spend the majority of their time? And it's such an awful thing to think about. And I don't in any way want my children to think less of either myself or my ex-partner. And I want to make sure that there is no animosity as well, to make sure that it's a nicer environment for my children. But the sadness that I feel, I've never felt a sadness like this before. I didn't even know a person could feel this sad. I honestly didn't. I have lost people in my life, loved ones, and I haven't been this sad. This is like such a different feeling, and it's very debilitating in a way, because I just want to get on with it, because I know what I need to do, because I'm not a damsel in distress, because I'm not the type of person that is going to sit here and wait for someone to save me. I don't need saving. I need to get up and dust myself off and get it done. I just need to be in a position, in a headspace where I can do that right now. And so I've got my friends saying, just be gentle and be kind with yourself. I was born busy. I need to be busy. And I've got so much on my plate. I've got so much that I need to do. And more than ever, I have to figure out ways in which I can bring more money into my household to be able to support my kids. Because it's now 100% my responsibility to be able to give them what they need. Oh, John just gave me a little donation. Thank you so much. It's very, I actually feel better saying something about it, because I have been and taking things so slowly.
Do you know what Casper is?
He's watching some TV in here. He's not happy, darling.
Why?
Because he got bitten by the dog. The dog pulled on him.
Can we watch TV?
Sure, darling. Can you please stop letting the flies in there? Thank you. Yeah, it's just one of those. I'm gonna set some goals for myself. One of the things that my father and my little sister got me to do on the day that it happened was just to sit down and write down a list of goals, like needs and goals. And it was good for them to do that. And so I sat down and I wrote down a list of goals. Things I didn't even have the headspace to think, and this is the most incredible thing. I had no headspace, and I'm like, I can't think of anything. I felt like all of my consciousness was mishmashed and floating, and that there was no way of making sense. And I just started to write, and it was a complete act of trust. I promise you, because I could not think straight. I cried, I hyperventilated, I sat like a stunned mullet, and then I got to pen and paper, followed their instructions, and I wrote things down. And already I've knocked things off that list, and I'm a goal-oriented person, and it just made me feel really good. Oh, thank you guys. I'm just in such a place right now. I'm a very honest person. Something I've been told my whole life is that I'm a very open and honest person. And I was just brooding. And then I jumped on it to send off a couple of readings that I realized had uploaded, but then all of this happened and I completely forgot. They're done. They're there. I just need to send them off. But all of this happened and I just completely spaced. I haven't even looked at my diary. My beautiful girls are just running amok at the moment, and my children haven't slept in my house all of them together since last night. And I had one night by myself. Holy shit. I could not sleep. I felt like I'd taken twilight gas and was just like ever so slightly loose. Woke up with intense fatigue. And I went about the next day and I did things. I've gone into the city. I've been trying to make time with my kids so that they have incredible experiences. And I took them to see Frozen 2, which put me in a position to just sort of see their delight and, just so much. There's so much that I didn't realize I would miss or would feel so important. And it's naive and it's...
Mommy,
Yes, darling.
can we have an ice cream?
Absolutely, go for it. But you have to eat it outside, okay?
Okay. Can you ask Cassie, because if we eat all of the ice cream,
That's very kind of you. I will ask him. Caspian,
what?
would you like an ice cream?
Yeah.
Would you like to go outside with the girls and grab one then?
Okay, but Mommy,
Please close the door.
Mommy, we were playing tag.
Nice. Oh, I keep getting interrupted and it's perfectly okay. I'll tell you, any parents will tell you that at times the kids can be a bit full on. And sometimes you're just like, oh my God, I just 5 minutes. Now I couldn't think of anything worse. I don't want 5 minutes to myself. I just want all the minutes with them. No, honey, you'll have to go and eat that outside. Just because it's drippy. Guys, remember outside with that? Because it's drippy. Oh gosh. But oh God, it feels so very devastating. It feels really devastating. But I know that relationships break up all the time. I know this to be a universal, maybe not a universal, but it's a truth of our modern age. But as unhappy as I was in my marriage, I was prepared to fake it. I really, really was. I was prepared to just stick it out there until the kids were older, until they had everything that they needed, and I even thought that maybe by then we'd find another happy rhythm, because everything to me is very cyclical. My husband is a complex person, my now ex-husband. It's very difficult. I don't even know what to call him. The other one, if you will. He's a very complex person. He's just got this inherent sadness in him that never goes anywhere. It just stays. It's just like this abyss inside of him. And I can honestly say that over the years, oh, thank you so much, Tess. Thank you. And over the years, I've had people say to me, he doesn't treat you the way that you need to be treated. He was never violent. He was never mean. He was never bad to me. I just want that to be very clear. But he also wasn't very bad. For the longest time, I thought that I might be thinking too materialistically. I might be thinking too romantically, because I'm a Taurus. We're materialistic, and romance and beautiful things are what makes us smile, right? My husband is a Scorpio. He is my polar opposite. And he has a different idea about how the world should be. He has a different way of thinking, of behaving, of acting, of communicating. Everything about him is so different. And many people said that we complemented one another. We were so different and we complemented one another. Oh, thank you so much, Debbie. But really, what happened is that compatibility is important. I now know this. Compatibility is important. And yeah. What to say? Like, what more can I honestly say about it? It's just, I'm just sad, and I just need to be sad for a bit. And I just need people to stop like criticizing me for the bone stone. I'm not even checking bone stone stuff at the moment because I'm not in the right headspace to. But the bone stone is moving on, believe it or not. The day that my husband decided that he was going to break up my whole family, I was doing address confirmations on that day. And then I proceeded to keep going after that. So yes, I keep going. I kept on going. It didn't impact me. But then when I'd finally done that thing that I needed to do, and when I finally did my day's work, I just stood up and I just let myself break a bit. It's just so hard. But I have a lot of people who love me, a lot of friends who have been checking up on me to make sure that I'm okay, who've been reaching out to make sure that I'm okay. And I tell you what, it's times like these that you know who your people are, hey? And I haven't been disappointed in the slightest with who's come through. I have so much love in my life. And it was honestly an act of true self-love when I said that I agree that we should separate, that I have felt emotionally abandoned for the longest time, and that I deserve better. I know that I deserve better. My card reading on the day was on point. So on point, like on point. And then this is weird. I had this weird pain in my index finger on my left hand. Just this uncontrollably weird pain for like 3 days before this all happened. And on the day that it happened, it just effing disappeared. It just went away. It was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Honestly incredible. Hey, sweetheart.
Mommy,
You
who are
can.
you talking to?
I'm talking to all of my beautiful friends on YouTube. Would you like to say hello?
Hi.
You want to go and chill out for a little bit? We'll have a shower soon and I'll prep dinner. How about that?
Yummy.
Alrighty.
Wait, what's for dinner?
Barbecue?
What kind of barbecue?
I'll let you decide in a minute. How about that?
Steak.
Righto.
Steak. Okay, what
Oh gosh. Her arm's better. She did have a bit of nerve damage. We did have an MRI. Oh, thank you, Megan. And she did have some hairline fractures in her collarbone and
Is it all better now?
a rotator cuff issue.
Is it all
Yeah,
better?
baby, it's getting better, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's still sore at times. Oh,
Yeah, you've got to remember to wear your sling.
okay.
But sweetheart, would you mind watching it in the room?
What?
Could you put that in the room? Thank you, sweetheart. Just so I can have a chat to my friends here. I'm trying to keep things very private, but they're very used to their mummy just like, why are you crying, mummy? And I'm like, I'm just a bit sad, and it's really hard because I don't want to say I'm a bit heartbroken. My life has just fallen. Like, I don't want to say those things to my beautiful ones. And so I'm just like, I'm a bit sad. I feel like a wiggle. I feel like a member of the Wiggles. I'm just a bit sad. The worst thing is, hello.
Why are you crying?
I'm just a bit sad. Do you want a cuddle?
Look, it's copying you.
It is. It's copying me. It's copying you too.
When we turn around, it copies each other.
It sure does.
Mummy, you do this.
Okay. Oh my gosh, it copies. It's recording, sweetie. Do you want to go and watch Peppa Pig?
Yes, please, Mummy.
All right. Good
You're
manners.
the best. You're the best ever.
Thank you.
You're so the best.
I paid her to say that.
I love you.
I love you too, baby.
I love you.
I think she was saying it more to herself than she was to me. Oh gosh, I forgot where I was. But oh. Yeah, it's been full on. What more can I say, folks? It has just been really full on. It's been a very difficult time. It's been a very challenging time. A little story. I have the hard copy of the Journey to the Dark Goddess book. I have the Kindle version, ebook version of Journey to the Dark Goddess. And now I also have the audiobook version. And I started reading the ebook because it was easier for me, because where I live, it's pretty dark. And when I opened it up to read it, I felt like it was a Pandora's box, that I was letting something out. And then I shut the book and I'm like, I'm not ready for that. I'm not ready for that. And then a few days later, I'm actually in need of it. I'm absolutely 100% in need of it. Oh, that is what I was saying. The worst part about it, one of the worst parts about it, and there are many worst parts about it, but I haven't lost my smile, folks. One of the worst parts about it is the fact that we were meant to be building here on our block, on my beautiful off-grid, beautiful acreage in the woods. We were meant to be building, and we had quite a bit of money put towards that, to put a down payment on that, just on that. And that went into the purchase of this house. And then my money went into the purchase of the renovation process of the house. And there's still a lot that needs to be done. But basically, all of our savings went into a house that I now have no access to. So that's all of the money we ever accrued over the entire time that we were together. All of it. And he's living in it. So he's all right. Do you know what I mean? And hello, Angelina. I feel like I feel like there is this aspect of premeditation in this decision, and that I think he may have been working up to this for quite some time. I was talking to one of my coven sisters from up north, and she's like, this is so shocking. This is so shocking. And she's like, do you think is this something that you felt? Like, did you feel something was off? And I'm like, oh yeah, I definitely felt something was off. It's like there was a life form next to me, but all of the soul had been removed. I definitely, definitely felt like a massive shift. And I would be sitting next to him, laying in bed reading, while he would be with his earbuds in, ignoring me, basically doing his own thing, not talking to me, not looking at me, just there. He's just there. And I could feel this tactile sensation. Like he was totally like icing me for sure. And I felt it. I felt every bit of it. It's like, you know, when someone's looking at you, you also know when someone's absolutely avoiding you in every way that they possibly can, except they have no other chance but to sit next to you. Like, it's one of those, I don't know, it's been a lonely time, folks. It's been a lonely time. And I never have time to myself. I never have time to just sit. And I never have a day or 2 days or 3 days to just do nothing. That's what I feel like I need. I just feel like I need to crawl underneath my blankets and just have a big cry and watch stupid movies and read awesome books. And I just, you know, one of the best things that I've done to help me take my mind off this is to read, you know, the Arc of the Scythe series by Neil Shusterman, because it's such a bleak, you know, sort of dystopian story. And I was like, yes, gleaning. I'm all there for that. I'm all there for that, Citra. Like, take me down the path. Oh, Snow Orchid. It's just, yeah, it's a full-on time. And yeah, so I just need some time. Like, one of my besties said to me yesterday, "Can you just get away for a couple of days?" I said I would, but now that I know that I'm solely responsible for paying for my children's private school tuition, because, by the way, I have been supporting my husband financially for a little while. He has a part-time job and he does a little bit and he brings in a little bit, but for the most part, the bulk of the cash comes from me. And I've never really minded that. I actually thought it was a point of pride. Just because I don't know, I always saw myself one day as being the primary earner. It's just, I like it. I like the idea of being a provider, of being self-sufficient. But in so many ways, even while I was aiming and trying to provide, the time that I can spend creating is completely dependent on when I have children, or the kids are here, or when I have, you know, other farm obligations, because this place just doesn't run itself. So, and then I realized that I wasn't getting all that much time, that my husband was able to go off and, I don't know, he joined the eight ball kind of club and netball and all these activities, and he volunteers for all these things. And then I didn't have a lot of time. And he would happily take the kids away. He loved to take the kids away. He's actually a really good father, and I will give him that. Not a great husband, but a really, really, really genuinely good father. And he loves his kids, and, you know, and I'm very lucky in that regard, because I know he'll do the right thing by them. I have every trust that that will be the case. But yeah, it's a crazy thing. I had to go in today. I'm upset because I had to go into the bank and say to a perfect stranger, "I'm separating from my husband and I need to open up a new bank account." Yep. Oh, and they're just like, oh. And when they started looking at my bank details and my bank stuff, they're like, who provides? Who's the provider? There was questions asked, and I'm like, well, I do. They're like, oh. And they were so kind. They were really, really kind to me. She goes, I'm sure this is a really difficult time. And I said, yes, it is a difficult time. And I'm hanging in there by a thread. I'm like, don't be kind to me. Don't be kind to me. I might cry if you're kind. Do you ever have that? Have you ever been in that place where you're just really sad and you're just like, holding it in there and like, I'm keeping this into myself, and then suddenly someone looks at you and they're really like, and they're really kind, and you just burst into tears? It's never actually happened to me before, but I get very close to it. Oh. Yeah, so then it was a few things that happened today. First of all, I had to do the bank account, and it wasn't an easy thing to do. I went to the first little city, which is Kingston, on the way to Hobart, and I went to the NAB there. All 3 children and my father in tow because he feels like I need some sort of supervision, and I agree. I feel like I do need supervision because I might just like absolutely break at any moment. But I walked into the bank and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we can't help you. There's not enough staff here and you'll just have to come back tomorrow afternoon." And I'm like, I won't be coming back here at all. And then I jumped in the car and I went to the city, and told the lady at the city what had happened because it was the same bank. I just went to a different branch. And they're like, that is so wrong. It was the funniest thing. And so I sorted out all my bank things after just having that little annoyance, having to go from like the outer city to all the way to the CBD and find a park, and it was lunchtime, and it was just like, oh, it felt like that. But I landed on the 5th level, and it was fine. And then I ended up having to make a call to my husband to ask him if he wanted to keep the dog, because I want to keep the dog, by the way. But yesterday the dog got out, and the police officer, our local copper, brought it all the way up twice and was very kind about it. And I said he's just lost his collar. He's gone through like 5 collars. He's a Jack Russell. And so I thought, well, I have to register him, because the little police note said it'd be a really good idea to just register him. Here in the country, dogs don't get registered like they do in the city. But being that mine's a scrappy little Jack that likes to gallivant around, he's quite the lad about town, if you will. And so I had to make that call to say, hey, this has happened. We need to register him. Do you have any intentions of taking this dog? Oh, no. He said, oh, you should probably stay there, because the house is just a large house block over there, and I have an acreage here. So it's much more suited to an animal. Flush Shop 121 Gaming. I'll sub if you say sub to PewDiePie. Yes, I know the war is over. He's such a fun person, isn't he? Yeah, so I get to keep the dog, but now I also have to pay the registration fee for the dog. I'm just like, this is costing me so much money. This is not how it is in the movies. In the movies, when you get divorced, this is not how it happens. Oh. Yeah, so it's a full on story, folks. I don't mean to keep you on here for 45 minutes, but it takes me time to just to go over the waves. But I'm starting to feel a lot better. I'm just really super tender, like super duper tender. Like, I've never felt quite this fragile before. I feel very fragile, like I'm on the edge. And it's not the type of fragility that I think, oh my God, I'll break. It's the kind of fragility that if I feel like I'm going to break, my natural coping mechanism is anger, and then I might actively break something. There's a lot of like There's a lot of power in here somewhere. There's a lot of fire. And I don't want to meet it in the wrong way. I don't want to sort of like meet the angry version of the fire. I want to meet the creative version of the fire. Oh, India, you're so nice. Oh, well, thanks, guys. So I want to talk some channel stuff with you guys because I think creating helps me, and I feel like I kind of owe it to like this YouTube tribe. I really owe it because it's kind of where my story started, really, my creative story started, all those years ago. And it helped me to make something of myself at a time where I was just making babies. and I shouldn't just say just making babies. It's a very, beautiful time, right? But at that time I sought to do more, and I have that still in me. I still want to do more, and I just need to regroup and really just sort of clear my mind a little bit first, and then figure out what my next couple of steps are going to be. And I really want to be able to sort of change the way that I do videos, because I just want to change as much as I can at the moment. Not bad change, but good change. I want to think about things, and I want to really be able to make wiser choices and just like loosen it up a bit. Like I need to loosen it up. I need to change my approach. I don't plan on cutting my hair, although God knows I would like to do something with my effing hair. Here's a personal confession. My hair is the one thing that I cannot manage. I just can't manage it. You will most often than not see me with my hair up, pulled up, with a headscarf on, or with it just whatever. But to look at it, the quality of the hair and the color of the hair, like that is something that I just cannot get right. Holy doolies. I'm into headbands suddenly because I cut my own fringe and I didn't do a good job. Bangs, for those who are not in I just read the funniest thing. Oh my god. Oh, I haven't even been keeping up with the chat, guys. I'm so sorry. I've actually just been talking at you. I just needed to just get it off my chest. I'm not purposefully trying to ignore you. Aw, Earthly Alchemy. My beautiful friend Michael. It's a very sad time. And I was meaning to contact you today anyway, Michael, because I was wondering if you could do the announcement for the Earthly Alchemy giveaway that we did together, if you wouldn't mind doing that. Because right now I can't. Well, I probably could, but I can't. Like I need to binge watch something, eat some chocolate, have some beer, have a little cry, and like finish the Arc of the Scythe series by Neil Shusterman. I'm actually reading The Wizards of by Ursula Le Guin. What is it called? It's incredible. It has started off incredible. Literature is my utopia. Thanks for that. A Wizard of Earthsea by Ursula K. Le Guin. And I'm reading that at the moment, along with I'm taking a break on Name of the Wind. It's the only time I read Name of the Wind. If anyone follows me on Goodreads, you'll find that I've had that book on. I'm reading it for a really long time, but the only time I read it is when I'm doing yard work. So if I'm doing whippersnipping and on the ride-on and that. I'll be listening to the Kingkiller Chronicles. I like books, folks. I'm really into reading at the moment. And yeah. Books have actually really helped me quite a bit. I don't want to sound like some kind of cliche bookish person, but I have absolutely avoided like romance, contemporary romance, and I'm just like, you ruined romance for me. Love the genre, contemporary romance, not like the sweeping sort of Mills and Boon style, like the Christina Lauren kind. I'm really into it, and they're really great palate cleansers, and they're just really happy kind of. Oh, and it's ruined now. I can't even look. I need like the Nevernight Chronicles. I need like death and dismemberment and chaos and war and just stuff. I need that kind of stuff right now. And yeah. So I just want to be able to gift myself some some regenerative time. Just so I can just nurse my wounds a little bit. Oh my god. Oh my gosh. The Witcher on Netflix. I've watched the whole thing. I'm very in love with Henry Cavill. And you guys are so funny. Yeah, that's true. I just got some really smart advice from Anna. Oh, I've actually been talking to Anna about look, many months ago, years ago probably, she was talking me into doing some Bone Stone merch, and I'm thinking about doing it now. Just on something like Redbubble, something fuss free, they can handle it all. But I just don't have that. I don't have the spark, and I'm like, I can't even think straight, Anna. I just can't even think straight. I'm like, I need your help. I just can't do it. I've looked, and I'm just like, no, this needs an artist's eye. I need to figure something out. And we haven't been able to like settle down and speak with one another yet, because I've had the kids for 2 days and I've had to do this crazy errand today in the city that took way longer. On the plus side, my dad, he did give me vanilla slice, like passion fruit glazed vanilla slice. It's so good. I don't know if I deserve it, but it's so good. I have been just a walking bummer of late, though. Like, I'll be walking along and then I'm suddenly like, something will just like trigger me, and I'll be like, at the moment, they're one of the songs that they're repetitively playing on the radio is that Good as Hell. I can't remember. I know that Ariana Grande is a feature on it, but it's not her. That is the original lead. But it was on my Spotify playlist for Christmas time, for New Year's, and it's all over the radio every time I jump in the car. And lately I've just been like, yep. There's a line in there and it says, walk your fine ass out the door. If he don't love you anymore, walk your fine ass out the door. And I was like, yeah, okay. Is this going to be my 2020 anthem? It can't be. It cannot be. Yes, thank you, Anna. That's her. And a Bauer? Yes, we're going to go with that. I may have butchered your last name. I do apologize. Crossroads and Eucalyptus is feeling it as well. Yeah, I've got some good people. I've got some good people. I'm trying to get my little sister to come back down because I just feel like I need all of the family that I have in Australia around me at the moment. And my little sister and I, we're pretty damn close. My baby sister, we're just a lot alike in so many ways. We have a lot of the same kinds of opinions about things, which is very, very similar. And in case anyone cares, in case anyone's into the wizarding world, my little sister and I are both Hufflepuff, and my other little sister is a Slytherin. So if it puts it to you in that context, there you go. There's differences there. But my other little sister, I got back yesterday and she had cleaned all of my kitchen up for me. She had gone outside because our fridge is outside, and she cleaned the inside and outside of the fridge like impeccably. And I got back and I was just like, I was blown away. I was blown away by it. Like, it's these types of gestures of kindness that I don't expect them. It's like I have forgotten that people can be that kind. Like, since my husband and I were together, I can honestly say he maybe purchased maybe 2 or 3 birthday presents for me in the whole 10, 11 years that we were together. Never a Valentine's Day. Never even an anniversary present. Just Christmas was also just a bust. He just wasn't into like gifting me with things. He just didn't like giving me things. That's how I see it. He didn't like giving me things. It's the funniest thing. It is the funniest thing. What? No birthday presents? No, it did get me one once, but I had to actually have a cry saying I just miss my culture. Where I come from, when it's your birthday, well, it might be Brazil, or it might just be my family. But birthdays are a really big deal. It's your personal day. Like, everybody celebrates Christmas. Everybody does Easter. All the cultural holidays are celebrated by a multitude of people. But your birthday is unique and something special. And I was raised to feel like my birthday was supposed to be amazing. And I held on to that belief well into this marriage. And as it turns out, I started to really I don't care if it's my birthday. Like, that's what happened. Oh. Yeah, it's an incredible thing. But you know what, guys? Here's the thing. There is always 2 sides to every story. So I definitely don't want to say anything to influence your opinion on his character or anything, because he has his own demons. He has his own way of thinking. He has his own sort of ideas about things. Oh, you're just too cute.
It's copying you again.
Is it?
Yeah. It's copying what? Hello. Nice to meet you, Mommy. Nice to meet you, Mommy.
See over here? Look. See this beautiful, all this writing?
Mm-hmm. Hello, Rose and the sun. Wait, it's pointing the other way, Mummy.
Yeah.
My arm's pointing the other way.
Yes.
I'm gonna point to you.
Okay. She can't reconcile it. Her finger's not going where.
There.
Okay, this is a fun experiment that you're having. I can see it. I can absolutely see it. Look at this cheeky little face. Does she look like an Aryan to you? Because she's an Aries.
Mommy, can I have something to eat?
Sure can, honey.
Ooh,
All right. Have a snack. There's heaps of snacks in there. Oh, we should have made scones today. I make scones now. Yes, I do. With lemonade. She's such a good fun egg. All right. You love these, don't you? She loves these accidentally vegan Oreos. I say accidentally vegan because my vegan friend said, did you know they're accidentally vegan? They're on the accidentally vegan list. And I'm like, what is the accidentally vegan list? Food that's not supposed to be vegan or not marketed as vegan and yet is vegan.
Hi, I marketed. Hello, everyone.
All right, honey. It's like somebody's given her a microphone and she's just like, she likes the sound of her voice.
I love the computer.
Okay. Don't be obnoxious about it.
Let's cook it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Not in your bed.
How?
All right, folks. Well, I might have to skedaddle. Just because the kids are going to start getting a little bit ferocious. It is now 4:30, so it's a good time to get them in the bath. It's a very overcast sort of a day. The grey of the day, I felt like, was a real nod to my mood. I even said it to my father on the drive into the city. I'm like, I just love that the weather today, the weather patterns for today really came together to just gift me with just like a beautiful day, because I'm well into an overcast day. I will take an overcast, misty day over a sunny day any day of the week. I genuinely despise the sunshine. Gordon and I have had this conversation. I'm like, I have PTSD from living in the tropics for so long, from facing so much. Oh, so nice. I don't even know. Oh, it's just interesting. I don't even know how to work YouTube anymore. All right, beautiful souls. Well, thank you for letting me sit here and just sort of like pour my heart out to you and have a little cry and just have a little honest moment and just tell you about what's going on with my day and just let you into my story a little bit. I know some people are like, oh, we broke up, and it's personal. I'm like, it's not personal for me. It doesn't feel personal. This is actually maroon. It's not black. Yeah, it doesn't actually feel personal to me. It feels painful. Painful and personal are two very different things. But there was no like, I know the malicious side of my family, i.e. all the Brazilians, think that there's another woman. And I'm like, no, there's not another woman. It's just, there isn't. I'd be shocked anyway, put it that way. I'd be absolutely shocked if there was. But oftentimes that's how it happens, isn't it? But no, I don't blame infidelity, and I don't even suspect infidelity. I just think that he's got his own issues that he needs to sort out, and he needs to figure out a way to find his happiness independent of others. I think that that's a real important thing. But yeah, he was just a person that had no passion. He didn't have any passion in his life. He wasn't creative, and he didn't have passion, and he was really good with the garden and that kind of thing, very motivated to learn. But it's like to have passion, like it was such an odd thing for me to choose a person like that. At the time, I remember it's just like, this person is not for you. Like, what are you going to do with this guy? And I was like, I just need a change of pace. And I was living by the, if you do what you've always done, you'll have what you've always had. And for a long time there, I had something that was totally different. And, but I did get 3 beautiful children out of it. So I'm very grateful in that regard. And maybe that's why he was in my life, just there to give me children. And to be a good dad to those children. That is something that I know that I've locked down. Children and a good father for the children. At least I hope so. But again, you can never guarantee on these things. But aside from that, for me personally, I'm just going to take my time. Just going to take my time. I'm going to honor my uh, well, this is him wanting to know when we can talk about when we have the kids at school. Um, all right, well, I better skedaddle and yeah. Just going to take my time, folks. Just please be gentle with me. I've got a lot on my plate at the moment and I plan on honoring everything. I just need to have a little bit of time, and it's so important. It is so unbelievably important for me to just have a moment of reprieve. So, oh, thank you. Thank you to everyone for your absolutely kind words, for everyone who just so selflessly gave me a donation. Then it was so kind of you. You were always so kind to me. And I'm so very blessed to have such a lovely space to turn to just have this moment where I can decompress with people that I know will just hear me out. I know you're just going to hear me out. And it's important. I'm biting my fingernails again. It's a nervous time for me. I will be in touch. And yeah, I'm really looking at forward to doing more things sort of on now. I don't know if you've known this. I've been sharing it everywhere, so probably you have. Laura and I created Little Red Pages, and we put our first YouTube video up on the YouTube channel for Little Red Pages, which was a newbie tag, a booktube newbie tag. And I tell you what, it's a wonderful distraction. That's become like a lovely hobby for me because I do a lot of work stuff in the tarot and witchcraft community. That books has always been a pleasurable pastime for me. And so I've really, really enjoyed it. And so many people have stopped by on that channel and just said hi. And if you haven't checked it out, please do, because we genuinely are looking for friends over there. There's if you're into books and you like reading, then come and say hi, definitely, because I'm looking at a bag of books over there, 2 of which are hard copies. I swore I'd never buy a hardback book. I meant, because I'm just like, they're unnecessarily expensive, and I like paperbacks because I can trash them. But as it turns out, I've got 2 really good hard copies. So I'm getting fancy now. I can't afford to buy any more books, though. That was my absolute last book haul. And so it's Kindle. It's my father's full Kindle library and my own personal Kindle library, and just downloading samples, which I absolutely love that you can do on Kindle, is download the samples. So anyways, come and say hello to us over at Little Red Pages on Insta or here on YouTube, because that is just so lighthearted and easy breezy, and it's just going to help me to take my mind off things. And then here on my channel, I want to do some more vlogging, so I'm going to figure out a way of doing that. Just because I need to get out of the house, I can't sit in my space at the moment, and I still want to create content, so I need to be a bit more creative about it. Oh, thank you. I just wanted to say from the bottom of my heart, folks, that I absolutely, absolutely love you. I love you. And thank you so much for all your kindness and for all your kind words, for all your support that you've given me all through the years. Some of you guys have been with me for years and years and years and years. And I don't say it enough, and I absolutely should, but I thoroughly thank you for being here. I thoroughly appreciate you. And it is just such a pleasure to be able to interact with you in this way. It's just the marvel that we get to do it. With all of that said and done, folks, I'm sending you so much love, luck, peace, and joy. Maybe not joy today, but maybe not even peace, but I'm trying over here. I'm just going to switch some things up to just bring a bit more freshness into the channel, a bit of 2020 into the channel, and let me know if you like it, and just understand that if you don't, just let me express myself for a bit. I'll get there. I'll find my way. Okay, folks. Much love. See ya.